Hello and welcome to Secure Guide. Today I'm going to demonstrate to you the Reptile Zeus DVR. Now this DVR is an 8 channel, this is the one I'm demonstrating to you today. However, it can be obtained in both 4 channel and 16 channel. Now I'm going to run through a few of the specifications as well as some of the features and demonstrate on the menu what you can do and what the options that you have with this DVR. Okay, one of the features with this DVR is the H.264 compression. That's the compression that it uses to record whatever video or audio you have recording through the DVR. Now this new compression, you get a lot more time saved to the hard drive than you would with such as MJPEG. With this new compression as well, you don't lose any quality or time with it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's amazing how they've done it. With this DVR, it comes with a couple of different video outputs. You've got VGA, which will link to a monitor, which is a very good option because of the resolution you can gain through this. It also comes with a BNC output, a video output via BNC, which is coax. Now this is between these two, it's a duplicate. With regards to the actual in and outputs on the back of the DVR, you've got for the cameras, you've got the 8 BNC inputs. Like I say, BNC standard for these cameras. The audio input is also of BNC. Now with the audio inputs, you get 4 inputs, of which to record sound through microphones, and 8 inputs for cameras, obviously with the 8 channels. Now with the outputs, you've got BNC standard output, as well as audio, which is also BNC standard output. And the reason that they do this for the audio to be completely separate is because VGA, if you're using this, does not carry sound signals. The contents of the box in which you get the DVR is, well, first of all you get the DVR, then you have the remote control, because you get an infrared remote control you can use with this, such as a television or video player. You get a remote, you do with these. You also get a mouse. Now using a mouse with these DVRs is much quicker and easier than using both the remote or the front panel. It's just like using a computer. It's absolutely brilliant. Now with this, also you get a disc with software and a manual. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to view the cameras and maximize and minimize and select which ones you've got. Now, as you can see from the ones we've got here, 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 and here, you can see that they are active. The other channels we haven't got any cameras connected to. This 9th one here, this isn't actually a channel, it just shows information of the other channels that are being displayed. Now, if you want to view, let's say camera 1, right click, view cam 1. Then for cam 2, obviously the same, and for the rest. To get back, dead simple, go to view 9. Now, as in our case, we've only got 4 cameras, so if you have an 8-channel system with 4 cameras, which is what a lot of people do because they want to expand later on, what you do is right-click, go to view 4, and you can choose cam 1 to 4. Now, this shows all of our active cameras. If you go, then simply back to view 9 again. Okay, now what I'm going to do is show you how to get into the menu and change a couple of settings, and we'll view what's up. So go down, with me using a mouse, I right click and go down to main menu. However, if you've got the actual DVR without the mouse and you're not using the mouse, you can always use the front panel. Now go to main menu and it will prompt you for a login. Now you get 2 by default, you got 6 8s and 6 6s. Now best thing to do, 6 8, then go into it, and the password is same as the username. This can be changed, and I would advise you change it as well, and just reduce the risk of any third party getting into it that you don't want there. Okay, now that we're logged in, I'll show you a couple of things with the menu. So first of all, let's go to info. Now as you can see with this menu, if you've used a DVR before, a lot of them will come with a lot more basic graphical user interface. This one's very advanced and much more detailed, and it's a more user-friendly DVR. As you can see here, when I select a category at the bottom, it will show a quick brief description of what is in that category. If you see at the bottom, as soon as I move the mouse away, it goes away, put it over another category, and you can see it shows at the bottom. Anyway, let's go into info. So in info, we have HDD info, which will give you information on hard drives, bytes per second, that'll show information, but we'll get to that. First of all, I'll show you HD info. So we'll go into that, and it shows you, now in this DVR, I've got a 1 tera hard drive, and it shows my free space currently is 540 odd gig. So that'll show you what hard drive you have and how much space you have left. If you go onto the view recording times at the bottom, it'll show you when it started recording up until the current point, which is very helpful for if you're not sure when over what period you've looked at. Okay, so that's more or less it for the HD info. So let's go back, and then into here we have the bits per second. Now this shows you consumption rates and basically what your hard drives are doing over each channel. Now because this is a smart DVR with multiplex technology rather than a simple technology, it will only record the cameras which are live. For example, I've only got 4 cameras hooked up to this DVR, as you can see, and as you can see here, it shows you that what kilobytes per second, megabytes per hour that each channel is using. 5, 6, 7, 8, because there's no cameras, it will just show that it's not recording anything on them, which is good because it'll save you space. So then, like with the old ones, they would record blank channels, which is not very useful at all. Okay, let's move on to a different category. So if we go back, we can see we have the other categories here. Now if we go into log, this is very useful because it shows you exactly what's happened and when it's happened. It has all the different descriptions, i.e. log in, log out, if the DVR has been restarted or shut down, if cameras have been unplugged and replugged back in. This is very, very helpful if you think that the DVR has been tampered with in any way. Now if we go up here to type, we can see all the different ones. So if I go to system, it shows you the system log, then configuration, storage, it will show you them all. If you go to, you've got start time and end time there, that's the times that you can look at for the log, as over time it will get quite a big log. You can actually search the log itself and find things that way. You can also back up. Now I've not got a device there selected, but you can back up the user log so you can save it for future reference, as well as clear it. So if I click clear, it'll ask me if I want to, and I can remove the log, and it will actually come up on the log that it's been cleared, which is also very helpful, so that you can tell if anyone's tampered with it, or if you've forgotten about something, you can always refer to that. Okay, now to the next category. If we go back, we can go to what's called, it has a little tab that says version. Now on this it will show all how many channels, how many alarms, how many alarm outputs, and it'll show your system firmware. It'll show the system, the build date, and it shows a lot of things. It shows your serial number as well, which can be very helpful, and as well as firmware revision. If you go down to upgrade, which needs to be done through a USB drive, you can actually upgrade the DVR through that, they upgrade the firmware, which you should only really do if you're having issues with the current firmware. So if we go back, we can go on to another tab that says online users. Now this is very helpful because people who get DVRs that are able to be accessed online often wonder how they know if somebody is accessing it, because you don't want a third party accessing your DVR and watching your cameras, as this is a massive security breach, and if someone did that you'd want to know about it. Now if you go on to online users, you'll see that here it has username and the IP address, so you can see who is online at what time and the username, because you can develop usernames for the DVR. Now you can choose to disconnect them, or you can even block them for a certain amount of time, so they could, essentially they have a suspended account. Now on this function you can see that we've got no username or no IP addresses, as the DVR is not connected to the internet for the time being. Okay, so let's leave this menu. We go back and we get taken to the info menu. Now we've covered all these sections here, so we'll go back again, and this time we're going to look at settings, which is the one with the icon with like the spanner and screwdriver icon. Okay, and again it comes up with the brief description at the bottom of what it is. Go into the settings. Now we have a few options here that we've got to cover, so let's start with general. Go into general, it'll show general settings such as the time and date that can be altered, and then saved separate. It has its own save button there for the date. Now when you change the date, it will generally revise the hard drive. So moving on, if we go down to the date format, it changes it from the year, which is year, month, day, which is not the British format. The British format is day, month, year, so that can be changed there. Then you've got the separator. It'll give you different icons, i.e. dot, the hyphen, or /. And then it's reasonably simple, this general settings. You go down to the 24-hour. You can have it on 12 hours, so it'll show AM, PM rather than 24-hour clock. Language change, and now this is a really important function here. When the hard drive's full, it asks you what you want to do. Now the most common setting is for it to overwrite, so that when the hard drive is full, it essentially starts from the beginning of what you have recorded again. So it comes all the way to the beginning, and then it'll carry on recording, giving you, say for example, you had 1 day's recording on one hard drive, and it could only fit 1 day on it. It'd go all the way across 1 day, get to the end, and start from over-recording the previous day. Now this can be changed, so that when you change the hard drive, you can change it to stop recording, and it will prompt you with a few options with what you want to do. This isn't the most common setting. The most common setting is to leave it so it overwrites, as this would then allow you to leave the DVR completely standalone and you wouldn't have to touch it. However, what a lot of people do is they use stop record so that they can back up certain segments when it's done. Now the pack duration, it shows that it'll record like 60 minutes before the data section begins and another section is started. That's reasonably simple. Then of course we've got device number. This shows how many devices we've got, which is 8, as we have 8 cameras, and it's an 8-channel system. Then the video standard, which is PAL. Now because this DVR is a UK model, it has the PAL standard, which can also relate to PAL. Obviously there's a relation between PAL and NTSC. NTSC is a different region, it's generally a US region. And then we have the auto logout. Now auto logout is for the menu that prompts you for the password. I would advise reducing this from 10 minutes to around 1 minute, so that you've got a lot less chance than of walking out of a room with the DVR in it, someone else coming over and accessing the DVR. Then you've got the snapshot option. That's dead easy. That can be done every 2 seconds. And then DST time settings, and then you can like set that for the DST and whatnot. So then you save, and then we move on.